What is going on? I'm Zedmont. Told you early in the season, every season I do 2 different tech trees, which actually worked out pretty gosh darn well. My account with tanks, I showed you yesterday, I managed to get it up into 14. Always exciting when you can get it up, but I managed to get another one up even further. And well, we delve into innuendos. Let's jump over there and have a look-see, shall we? So we are day 1. This is day 1, and I have managed to make gold. So we are sitting at global number 53. Pretty excited about that, and I've got some tokens to spend. Gonna get those boom cannons maxed. Notice that I did go through that middle engine room. That might be a problem later because that middle engine room is super duper sexy. But that's what we're going to have to live with. And now I am using Tick 1 mechs. With Tick 3 EverSpark, we are using her universal hack that is being super, super helpful. And just skipping on shield gens. I know shield gens are going to be a thing at some point, but so far I just don't like them because they don't shoot back. Managed to unlock the ability to get troop damage or artillery or rocket chopper at that 1000 tech level. And I do wish that they showed you some sort of like thing to say that like it used to be locked. Anyways, we're going to ignore that. All of our defenses are maxed now. So every single defense I have unlocked is maxed, whether it's mines or shock mines or boom cannons. And that has been playing a fairly major role. Now this base, I actually designed it myself with an asterisk on that one. And the problem is, I checked to see who I copied the base from, and it was a replay of me attacking it, so it didn't have their name, unfortunately. So their base was very, very different than this. I have added my own twist to it, and it seems to be working fairly well. So if you'd like to use it, do go right on ahead. And you can see here some wins against some very good players and some losses against some very good players as well. So I'll show you how I've been attacking. 232, 156, 138, 2, 3, 1. Commander J. Doom just crushed me, but thankfully I did not lose enough stars so that my next battle was in fact a boss battle, which was greatly, greatly appreciated. Supercell, thank you for giving the little edge there to boom tubers as you do. Some people actually believe that, so I shouldn't make that joke. Anyways, here's what I'm doing. Sending some troops each direction, and the whole goal here is to like clear off this crap so that these troops all go this way and these troops all go that way, if that makes any sense. Also knowing that I do have EverSpark, so I am gonna try, we're gonna try to get rid of that right there with a remote hack. That's why EverSpark is walking up here. Otherwise, that shock mine, you just lose every single one of your Zukas to those mortars. I'm still going to lose a bunch, but looky over on that right-hand side. We've got a decent split. I don't have flares, so I need to rely on forcing my troops to go the direction I want them to go. Then getting some medkits over here. My medkits are Tick 3, which has been quite helpful. And off come these guys. Not a very great split, but notice they do skip all those mines because we managed to hack a couple of those defenses, and then getting all the engine rooms, not fizzling. And I gotta say, my tank account with Bullet dies so gosh darn quickly, and so using EverSpark, I gotta give a shout out to Orion as well. Just he mentioned to try. I had lost to someone who absolutely crushed my compact using EverSpark, and he said, yep, it's a thing, give it a try, and so I did, and now we've got 4 boats on the right and only 2 boats on the left, and walking through, that's 5 boats on the right. So I've held a boat back, there comes some more Zukas, and that's just because I really, really, really don't want my troops to have to walk back, so being a little bit extra careful. Mechs doing magical things, and EverSpark hacking some things to get our troops onto those engine rooms a little bit quicker, and not pretty on this right-hand side. Like, this right-hand side is so gosh darn ugly, but that's what happens when you try to stay thin, and as a result, didn't get perfect results, but still fast enough. And those remote hacks, they're not really designed to actually get any damage. Because I don't have flares, I'm just using them to try to get my troops to attack the stuff that I want. So let's get a little bit quicker, and again, because there's a whole bunch of different deck layouts, I can't give you the specifics. I've had some people ask, like, can you share some replays? And it's so specific to the actual base, the official deck layout. And so hoping that these things help you a little bit, trying to get a smoke there to keep my mech alive. And a reminder, these are tick 1 mechs, and I'm talking a mile a minute, and that hack right there is so vital. Like, anytime EverSpark can walk up there and hack that mortar and or hack that, like, anything to keep those mechs alive is such a big advantage. Because notice that all of a sudden we get a bunch of critters out, we got some Zookas hitting that engine room, and yes, that boom cannon does a little bit of damage as well, but we don't have to wait for these guys. And when you have to wait for these guys, your times are slow because it's such a long walk. And so this is probably one of the better deck layouts, and I've probably wasted it by doing it early, but them's the breaks, I suppose. And then if you run into this base with bullet and tanks is a nightmare, but thankfully with these guys it is super, super easy. So what I'm doing is 1 mech on the left to deal with that, 1 mech on the right to deal with this, and then some Zookas and getting rifles on either side. That way they just kind of clear all of the stuff, and EverSpark's critters are definitely helping as well. We're going to hit some shock mines. We've got some med kits that are actually doing a decent amount of goodness. And then I'm not sure what I did on this one. I didn't use smoke on this one. On some of them, I do use smoke, but it's just med kits out front. Like, we've got a couple mechs out front. We've got a couple rifles still standing out front, and just absolutely obliterating this. Zen Buddha, this is a fantastic player, but because we've got EverSpark and mechs and rifles just walking through this base. And it's even harder when it has boom cannons, but I'll show you that in a second too, because the boom cannons don't stop it either. And it looks like we're getting pretty gosh darn low on troops, but there's nothing that can stop us at this point, just walking on through. And I get a little bit better at it as we go along as well. I think maybe Dan Doe has that base. Yeah, there it is, with the boom cannons as well. So same deal, and I think I actually used smoke this time. So we've got mech on the left, mech on the right, and then some rifles in the middle, and then we end up getting on some shock mines. And look at that, EverSpark standing back, fade away, hack on that boom or mortar, and then just walking through this base. Like, rifles out front, Zookas to the left to protect that mech in a second here, and then just walking through. So those left-hand side Zookas doing great things to keep those mechs and boom cannons and cannons away from our mech. And look at that, our mech has 1 HP and it's still alive by some absolute miracle. So EverSpark, every season I sleep on EverSpark, but this one I decided let's do it. So walking through bases with EverSpark, which when you don't have troop damage, clearing all of the mines is just so gosh darn good. And it's the same drop every time. Mech left, mech right, rifle left, rifle right, and then EverSpark way out wide to the left. And the goal of keeping her to the left a little bit more is I'm hoping that she's going to hack either that and that. And I tried the step back right about here, and then she stepped underneath. Like, she selected the target and then stepped underneath. And because we have tick 1 smoke, we get all sorts of value from that smoke. Our troops get going, we get our med kit out. They've got those left-hand side rifles taking the shots from those left-hand side cannons and things, and just timing the hacks. You have to be so careful, because otherwise you end up hacking a defense that has like 1 health and you've wasted GBE. So I just like stare drastically and intently, and then as soon as one of those defenses goes down, I click the hack button as fast as I can. And thankfully everything is right out in front of us, so when you hack, you get the next closest defense that doesn't have any health. So, or that has closest defense with the least health, in range, yada yada yada. Just walking through. And the best part about this is the tank account I was absolutely hating. I have not played it since I unlocked EverSpark. So if you're still at the 2 engine room level or the 3 engine room level and haven't got a hero yet, I can't recommend EverSpark enough. There's just so much goodness here. Her critters, her hack, And you get to throw a little bit of skill in there as far as when you use the hack and knowing which defense is damaged and closest and all that sort of fun stuff. And I'll show you my loss against Commander J. Doom just because it's pretty gosh darn fast, I gotta say. And just going, like absolutely going, knowing full well that we need to spend most of our troops on that right-hand side, and then those rifle guys are just there to clear those mines. That's all they're there for. Don't need much with the mech, just mech clearing, and like you can't be much quicker than that with the troops that I'm using. But I'll show you what Doom's doing, and it should come as no surprise here, but he has a little bit of troop damage, which is a spoiler for the troops he's going to use, of course. Getting bullet out front, and then looky, 5 boats of rocket choppas on the left, 3 boats on the right, and then just critters every which way. So if you're considering using rocket choppas, do know you definitely need some critters and probably a flare. Bullet probably saved some GBE there, but I think any hero would have worked there, really. Like, even EverSpark would have been fine, because all they're doing is standing out front and getting shot in the face. Missed his smoke there by a tiny bit, but it didn't matter. And then, I'm not sure if maybe he was pre-smoking. If he was, then all the power to him. And then just the kamikaze of all kamikazes onto that final engine room. Losing a bunch of rocket choppas, or a couple, but just so gosh darn fast. Really liking that hit. Don't have the firepower for that, and Doom is sitting at global number 7. So go Doom, go. Kling Klong up there at number 1. I believe that number 1 was used a locked account that skipped last season, is my thinking. But regardless, let's show you my boss battle 416, which made me much happy, because this means that I can unlock my next push fairly soon. And again, just using that mech. As soon as the mech is out, then you can drop EverSpark. And you'll notice that I dropped EverSpark slightly right, because again, I want to deal with those 2 mortars across there. People are really doing well with those mortars across, but we don't have time for that. We're going to hack that mortar, getting rid of it. And I've dropped all of my boats, unfortunately. So now we just got to stand here. Didn't plan this one super duper well. And then for some reason on the hack, EverSpark walked to this side, which was hugely important. And quick note, if you have no defenses over here and you get EverSpark stuck over here, click that hack button. It gets her walking ahead of your troops, and it will save you a bunch of time. You'll see it in a second here. We get not only that machine gun down, but we get the shock mine cleared, and we get that next sniper tower hacked, and then all of these mines. And by the time the rest of our troops arrive, our Zookas get on that core unmolested, because the machine gun and the sniper tower and the cannon are gone. So hugely greatness. Let's do a live hit. Don't really know how this is gonna go, but you gotta do a live hit, right? We'll see how it goes. And really, like, I've heard a lot of people not liking this season at all. Tank metas, fizzle metas are never super enjoyable. There is some better stuff coming, of course, but more importantly, just this will make the early season fun. Yesterday, I put out the tech guide for winning, and the tech guide for winning and the tech guide for fun, unfortunately, are 2 different things this season. So part of the not so fun part of being on the leaderboard is I don't have the patience for this. Like, finding an opponent sometimes takes 5 to 10 minutes, and I just can't do it. So we will see. I'll give it like 30 more seconds, and then if there's no opponent, we'll just bail. Oh, there we go. What? Oh no, that is awful. Anytime you go against a 14, this is like 17 keys that we could be losing. So this is very scary. We're going to do the exact same hit, though, thankfully. Getting EverSpark over into there, and then just absolutely getting that there and that there, and trying our darndest to get all of our troops on. EverSpark might be a little bit too far left. I'm going to throw a smoke on her, and that way we can get the rest of our troops moving. Definitely need to get things moving, because if we didn't, EverSpark was A, gonna die, and B, things were not gonna go super duper well. Getting that next hack out, getting our next med kit out, and now we should be absolutely golden. EverSpark getting that next hack out. Critters are moving forward, troops are moving forward. Would love another med kit right about now, but just wasn't really getting the value that I was hoping for. And this will give us maybe 3 stars or something like that. This is not going to be super helpful if we can pick up the win, but on the plus side, any sort of leeway we get in gold, if we can get the win, will be huge. So the ranks are very strange right now. We are up against 3 Feet, who is in 14, and because they're using tanks and going left, we are almost certainly going to pick up the win. Bullet is dead. Bullet dies a lot in the early season, and 3 Feet did the good guy. Save yourself some time and just retreated, I should say. I was going to say force quit. There's a lot of force quitting this early season, which will get you engine rooms as well, but they went ahead, and I'm sorry, that was not a fair match. 16 versus 14, not a fair match at all, but we got 5 stars. I'd like to get a couple more before chest time, that way I can collect in gold, hopefully. My next step is going to be a controversial one, I think. I want to go get that next engine room to the right, which will get me heavy choppas early, and it's probably going to be a giant mistake, but I'm going to make the gamble. We'll see how it goes, and I will let you know. Otherwise, this is my tech tree. Thank you for coming in. Like, share, subscribe. More importantly, though, 2 things. Code ZMOT over there in that shop. It does expire. And comment. Thanks for coming in. Peace.